So I know you were an accomplished battle rapper, but what I would like to know is beforehand. I know you're a massive football fan. Did you have aspirations of being a football player?
I did. I actually played for YT for a few months. YT is a term we use for youth team. So I actually played for Manchester City youth team for a little minute. If they pull out the books, they'll find my name somewhere. Played for high school. I played many, Sunday league, Saturday league. I play in Toronto still, whenever I can. I'm a decent footballer, but my bones didn't hold up.
What was your preferred position?
Nowadays, up front, because that's the one where you have to run least. And centre mid, I'd say centre mid. Nowadays, I prefer centre mid because I understand the game more than ever. I think I really got the game 2 years ago. I've watched the sport my whole life and I love the game and I was a great player and I can do anything you can think of with a ball. But I really learned the game a couple of years ago. Vision, passing, stuff like that. Centre midfield is brilliant. But my position as a child was right wing. Because I was fast and I could whip a ball in.
And I know
inside.
I know a lot of players, a lot of kids growing up, especially me. So I'm like a massive Brazil fan. So when I go on the field, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm Ronaldo. I'm Adriano." Who was the player you look up to and thought you were in the fields?
A Georgian player actually called Giorgio Kinkladze. My nickname, because I'm called Adam, my nickname was Adzi Kinkladze. My mother gave me that name. So whenever I'd be on the ball, as a kid, you commentate when you're on the ball.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, Kinkladze!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Kinkladze, Manchester City legend. More of a, he's one of them smaller names in the world of football, but he means a lot to us, especially to me.
And so, when did your love of battle rapping start to begin for you?
The very first thing I ever seen was probably 8 Mile. Was it 8 Mile? I don't know what was first. I'm so hazy, my memory's so hazy. I don't know what was first between 8 Mile. No. Do you know what? I think it was 106 and Park and like. I remember my first battle I watched was Murder Mook and Party Arty. It was I just got my friend Briggsy was like doing all this AOL shit and like MSN and fucking talking to girls and MySpace and shit, and I was poor and I got a PC and then he put me on like all this MSN and rah. And then he said to me, "Have you ever seen rap battles?" I was like, "No." So it must have been before 8 Mile, and he showed me Murder Mook versus Party Arty, and then Rabbit Hole. I don't know if it was YouTube back then. I don't know what it was, but Rabbit Hole.
Was it an instant thing? Like just like you got sucked in?
Yeah, instant. Because I just related. I'm from a very, as people know, I'm from a very aggressive place. Arthur Manchester, very aggressive, very violent, very gang oriented, or mafia or very just not. I'm from a naughty area, innit? And confrontation is not something that we're scared of. If you see me and my friends talk to each other, we talk in a very aggressive, fucking whatever way. And general day-to-day conversation in the street where I'm from would strike you as very aggressive and stuff. And then so. We just call that no bullshit, innit? Then when I seen battle rap, I just related, man. I thought, it's just like us. And then obviously you start thinking of, what little funny rhymes can I make? Because it was more so the punchlines. I was like, how did he fucking think of that? That was crazy. And then the funniest stuff, funny stuff rang me in as well. Yeah, man, it was an instant love, but it grew every day. And, you couldn't pull me away from that PC, man. It was battle rap and smack DVD. So rappers like Cassidy and Saigon and Papoose and these, like, I was fascinated with these guys because the punchlines were so witty. I was fascinated with them, and I would just try and write punchlines like them.
And are those the ones who inspired the work that you would eventually create? Just like focusing on punchlines?
Yeah, they inspired my work. I think it's more so I wanted to better them guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd see flaws in punchlines. I don't know how to explain it. My punchline has to fully make sense in every way you can look at it, like that. And a lot of the battle rap guys I was seeing, it's like, okay, shit, I wish I could think of a line to show you what I mean with the context. But I always do this when I just try and, like, I put myself on the spot and I can't think.
It's okay.
So basically what I mean is, like, so if a guy says, I'm fly like a bird, I'm like, alright, so a bird flies, but I'm like a bird. Where's the punchline in like a bird? In take it away from its context, it's so hard to explain what I mean, but it's like everything,
like
there needs to be two meanings for everything in it, like, and it's exactly perfect. It means an artist to listen to which can, like, sum this up perfectly for you is Lupe Fiasco. You listen to a Lupe Fiasco song and I'll watch you just bob to the song, no, this is dope, and then I'll come over to you and say, but he's not talking about what you think he's talking about, he's talking about this. Play the song again.
Yeah.
You'll be like, every fucking word is like...
So you're really listening?
I'm really, really listening, and so I always wanted to evolve the punchline, or how many layers you could put in the punchline. After a while, I realized it was redundant. No one cared, no one got it.
Yeah.
I'd sit with my friends and they'd go, yo, when you said this, and then they'll get the double entendre, and I'm like, you know, that was a quadruple entendre because this means this, and then this means this, and then this is strung to this, and this means this, and they're like, why did you even fucking... And I'm like, yo, that probably took me about 8 hours to, like, construct that. Like, my shit, I see it, I see my patterns, and when I say this to people, they always think I'm a bit strange, and I don't know how else to explain it. I see it in blocks and colours, and it's all like kaleidoscope. Although it looks messy, everything is perfectly symmetrical all the way through, and you can bring any of my rap songs. I don't do it so much on my rock and roll because I feel like it needs to be free, but on my rap shit, you listen, every fucking syllable is perfectly, like, matched everything. It's just the way I am as a person. So when I found battle rap, I was like, this is the way you can do it without fucking boring people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So you just touched upon it a little bit there. So in crafting songs and not crafting battle raps, you see the similarities in the two?
Yeah. There's similarities in the two, but there's so... No, there's huge similarities, I guess, if you go deep. But, so the two different things, right? Battle rap is ripping, is like, I don't know, battle rap is saying, I'm so different from you. That's what it's talking about. It's like saying, I understand you, but I'm so different from you. And music is saying, I understand you and I'm just like you. So that's the fundamental difference between battle rap. I'm still telling my opponent I understand him like nobody else understands it, because I'm trying to tell him stuff about him that people might not know, or he's gonna go, holy shit, you're right. I really did pay child support this week.
Yeah.
I really did. In both mediums, I'm just trying to tell the listener how much I understand them and can articulate their scenario, whether it be for good or bad. But the music game is so much more broad. It is introspective and retrospective. But this shit is just me fucking holding a mirror up, an exaggerated mirror up to some guy, to try and get laughs at his expense and try and get clout. So as a person, it just didn't work for me after a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so at what point did you realize, like, okay?
I'm just a nice guy in it, and I tried to, like, put it aside and shit. I was just raised to say what you mean and mean what you say. And like, that shit was fake, man. It was fake as fuck. It was a talent. It's a very good talent. it's not no skills that I'm not using now though with what I'm doing on Salt of the Earth and with my band and stuff. I still have all the same tools. I was just doing it in like I was just putting it out there in like a somewhat negative way for me, too negative for me. You know, I would spend 2 months, maybe a month obsessing over this man. Really good, like thinking negative thoughts about this person and really putting them in a bad space in my head because I want to win a competition. Then you meet them and they're the fucking nicest people in the world and you're just like, oh man, I got so much in common with you. Like, we just really both want to do the same things.
Yeah.
And I've got to cut your throat to do that, but I wasn't raised like that at the end of the day. And then so my content, if you go back and listen to my shit, there was only one time ever I ever got personal. Which was against Arsenal, because in the Arsenal rematch I got personal with him because in the first one he got personal with me. And so I got personal with him in the second one. Other than that, I always had to beat people by skill. But still, man, my little conscience kicked in.
And you're just like...
I don't like fucking killing people. Like, because I'm fucking good at that. I'm really fucking good at rap battling, innit? And there's not a man on the planet that can... There's not one man on the planet that can beat me. Not one. No one ever did. I love the Americans, but they're very biased. Right? The world had a vote. Top battlers in the world, top 100. I came number 2. That means I came number 1. The reason I came number 2 because of New York vote. So homie, Charlie Clips got number 1 and I got number 2. Weeks later I battled him and I beat him in my last battle ever. I think I beat him in my last battle ever. There was so many reasons I left. No real structure. No real wins. Everyone's all scared of wins and losses, so everyone's always scared of losers, so everything's promo and not judged. That's not why I got into it. There was just so many reasons I left it, really. It was the new sound, man. If you got something in your head that you really know is gonna do something and really mean something to you, you have to do it. And the whole time I'm like, yo, I need to make this album. I need to make this Salt of the Earth album.
So I know you spend most of your time through Manchester and Toronto.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling coming to Toronto and making songs in Toronto?
I love it. I'm like, I feel like I won the lottery, man. Toronto people are just like fucking amazing people. Just Ontario people, Canadians, like they're just so cool and like what's the word? We're just open to new ideas, friendly, open to new ideas, and very experimental, very art-driven, culture-driven place. And because it's so young in its actual history as a place and stuff, and because like most of us here are immigrants anyway, and it don't really have its own culture. Not mean it don't have its own culture, but its culture's so young. Culture almost doesn't matter. So we're all just in it together, creating this new Toronto culture, and everyone's teaching each other and learning. There's all these little cool bars and cool subcultures and stuff. It's it's just like Manchester, man. It's amazing, but the people are cool as shit, man. I love it. I love it here, man. I just always feel like I'm in Gotham or some crazy movie. Everything looks like a movie to me. I love it.
And for the new single and the new upcoming album, how has Toronto influenced the album and song?
Toronto influenced the album so much. If it wasn't for Toronto, the album wouldn't have happened, for one. Obviously because of the musicians, but just the state of mind that it put me in. This is a super important question, so I don't want to just rush into it and just give you the first, oh yeah, big up Toronto, because it ain't that, because I fucking love this place so much. Toronto made me find me 100%. I would not be as mentally complete as I am as an adult now if it wasn't for Toronto and the experiences I had in Toronto. The muses, the girls that I've had, or the fucking being away from home and the family and the essence. I said this in a few interviews, but it's true, man. I was really competing. I really wanted to just be the best rapper in the world. And that's a certain carrot dangled in front of your head that you're never gonna reach, innit?
Yeah.
Because the rod's attached to yourself. So I never reached the carrot. And when I started, it was all about ability and skill and speaking from your heart. Then all of a sudden it's about dabbing and taking prescription drugs and shit. And that's all good, that's up to them guys, and some of them songs bang and stuff, but that wasn't for me. So I kind of feel like the shit was changed under my feet, and I kind of lost my love for it while I was in Toronto studios with Toronto hip hop acts making Toronto sounding music with my British accent. The shit just kept changing, more 808s, slower beats, this and that. The skills I had acquired didn't fit. I rap in certain tempos. I can rap in any tempo, but this is what I love to do, so I like to do it. And the essence had gone, the essence had changed, and I thought, I have to do what them guys did in New York all them times ago and just create hip-hop, like create a hip-hop, create fire. And that's what we did with this new shit, man. That's what I feel like. And if it wasn't for Toronto, I would not have looked back at Manchester with such fondness. Rose-tinted glasses, I'd say. Because when I went home, I was like, oh, fuck. You just made me, being in Toronto just made me fucking... I'd see such Mancunianisms in the Toronto people, just salt of the earth people, just really nice shit, and then it would make me miss people back home, and vibes and foods and smells and shit back home, and sounds and shit, and then my soul just wanted to make that music, but as myself, with rapping and shit. And artists, we get in the studio with a couple of zoots and a couple of beers, and next thing you know, we got like a real contender on our hands with a beautiful piece of work, man. And if it wasn't for Toronto, I would not have done it, man. And I don't, honest to God, if it weren't for Toronto, I wouldn't be a musician right now. I wouldn't, man. I was at the I was done. I wasn't done. I was just like, I was ready to just make music for myself and just listen to it in my house. But coming to Toronto, it was like, Toronto bitch slapped me like, wake up, are you fucking stupid? Get it, dog. And then we got it.
And can you talk about the upcoming shows? How does it feel like performing the songs?
Fucking, oh man, I can't even explain how it feels performing songs. It's just amazing, man. I feel like I walk on stage and I walk off. I can't be up there enough, man. I need 2-3 hour shows or some shit. I just love it. It's amazing. The crowd's amazing.
Do you feel more joy out of performing these songs than opposed to being in a battle rap?
Oh yeah. Positivity always outweighs negativity, man. And I don't mean battle rap is all the way negative, but at the end of the day, it's a business based on two people calling each other names in it.
Yeah, so.
And it's not like WWE as much as people would like to say it's like WWE, because we didn't sit there and plan it together. We're going to go through steps together. It really is me coming for your head, you coming for mine, then us pretending we're friends after it. And it's just such an unhealthy environment. But I've tried to change that with I have my own company now. We're implementing certain things and certain practices, way to go about things, and creating a more positive environment for rap battles. But even before to me, rap battling was a means to get promotion for my music. That's what it always was. A lot of people say, oh, the book of Shotty starts with battle rap. It's so not true. The battle rap chapter of the book comes after pages and pages of me twiddling my thumbs and banging my head against the wall and trying to figure out why does Britain not give a fuck about hip hop? Because that's where we was at the time. So no one was listening to no one but Westwood. And we weren't listening to Westwood for British acts. The British shit come on, we turn it over. No disrespect, but there were certain acts who I'm very cool with now. Their shit came on, I turn it over because it wasn't the same. You get Tupac, you fall in love because it's Tupac and Bone Thugs, and then you come over and you hear a guy rapping about fucking fish and chips and beans on toast. Like, no, fam, I want to hear about the Crips and the Bloods and this mysterious world that as an outsider I don't know about. And then we come back and guys are like, yeah, gotta eat your chips and beans, I'm very British. Fuck, get the fuck out. Eventually it changed, didn't it? The internet, but before then everything was regional. You couldn't really be a British guy doing that type of shit. You couldn't really be a this and that, doing that kind of
So, can you talk to me about the upcoming movie that you're going to be in Versus?
Yeah. So the movie that I'm in, Versus, directed by Ed Lilly, produced by Bennett McGee. It was my first ever acting role, besides Bow. My first ever acting role. I was a bit nervous at first, but I'd worked with Ed Lilly 3 times before on music videos. When he was a puppy and I was a puppy, we like, our paths met. I hired him for a video 1 or 2 times and we worked together, we fucked with each other. He's a cool guy and we ended up getting on and keeping in contact for a while. Then we lost contact for a few years. While I was doing what I was doing, he was doing what he was doing. Turns out he'd been keeping his eye on my career and doing what I'm doing, and he'd seen a story in it. And he'd been writing his battle rap music for years and whatnot. And as I was retiring, he just hit me like, yo, you want to be in a movie? I have been writing this role with you in mind and stuff like that. It's quite far away from who you are as a person, but I think you can do it. And he really convinced me that I could act. I didn't think I'd be able to act. And he convinced me that I've been acting the whole time on stage in battle rap. Fucking great process. I went to like London for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I was with an amazing cast: Connor Swendors, Follow Evans, Akinbola, Paige Keiki, Nicholas Pinnock, Jovan Wade. You know, amazing talent, and I'd never done it before, so it's fucking daunting. And I was the main bad guy. So I had this thing where I was thinking, oh shit, do these guys look at me like, who the fuck is this old rap guy coming in and taking one of the main roles? But it was amazing, like, and it was like a little family, and like they just teach me shit. And I took to it, man. I took to it really well, and I loved it. Yeah.
Is it something you could see yourself doing more of?
Yeah, definitely. It's grueling. You know, you're on set for 14 hours a day, but it's like a time capsule. You walk on set and then it feels like you walk off 5 minutes later. It really does. It feels like every day feels like a 5-minute day. But then at the end of it, you realise how tired you are that it wasn't. By the last day, I was like, I was done. I was fucking done. I don't know how they do it like on Infinity Wars and like Avengers and shit.
Yeah.
When they film for like fucking 6 months to a year. Oh man, I'd have killed them all.
And sometimes they film the next movie like
straight back to back. Well, I know how they do it. It's because the paychecks are very nice. So yeah, I'm sure that it's no problem. It's being on set that long. But yeah, if anyone gets the opportunity to be in a movie, it's something you should definitely experience. Such a cool vibe. And the movie's amazing. Like Ed's amazing writer. Cast are amazing. And it's not just a movie. It's not a battle rap movie. Like, it's not gonna be like 8 Mile. If you're tuning in to think, oh, this is just gonna be like cool, a clout fest where I can fucking pretend to be a gangster for 2 minutes, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not one of them movies. It's a deep story about a child who was given up who put into care, basically put into the system, young, because his mother was young. And he's getting passed around and he has psychological issues, and he gets to a decent age, 18, 19, when you start, you know, going out, doing your thing or whatnot. And he gets put into this little seaside town, and there happens to be a little battle rap community in the seaside town. Then he takes these little issues and his progression and that, and he's got to go over to this little seaside town. And anyway, he meets a girl who's very involved with the battle rap shit, and she's my ex, and I'm the bad guy who's bitter and hung up and twisted, and then the story unfolds.
That's perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you very much, mate. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you again, for sure.